morning, good afternoon, good evening, race sim and RC fans. Racing 393. Okay, so today as in I'll start it, I don't know when I'll finish it, but hey, I'm going to start the Hotshot 2 Blockhead motors build. There's loads on the internet anyway. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. There's loads of, a lot of people are really good at this, and I don't know. I don't know what I find more interesting. I say I find it's for you guys, but how I can do it so that it's interesting to watch, or without being long and drawn out, or perhaps like some of my videos people would like to see more. I don't quite know how to pitch this yet. I've never done a build video as such. Kind of. I've sort of done bits and pieces, but I don't want to be the same as all the others. So I will, don't know, I might do it in real time, you know, so it'll be a lot of things cut out. I'll try and keep the sort of the build bits in the video, but it'll be in real time. I don't know whether that's going to be interesting. Trying to build things on camera anyway is always, well, it's alright when you're on your own, you've got nothing to worry about. When you've got editing to sort of, and camera angles, well, say there's only this camera angle, doesn't really matter, does it? It's looking down, providing that what I'm doing's underneath the camera, you know, it's got to be here, otherwise you don't see it. So I've got to bear that in mind. I might have to just leave the camera running, and when it runs out, stop, or if I run out of time, stop, because what the camera's on at the moment, if I knock it, it wobbles. It's a good stand, it's a professional stand. You know, it will move if I touch it, or even stamp on the carpet. Anyway, that's what we're going to build. I'm just going to show you something else that I got. If you remember, I did mention about these hop-ups. So these are the dual block tyres, full drive front and rear, and with the wheels as well. So I've just fitted that one to see what they look like. Yeah, they're quite nice actually. The hex, the 12mm hex. The hex comes with the kit, plastic ones, but I might try and, because I saw some, well, I know I can get some alloy ones, which would be probably better. But anyway, so they're going to go on the car. I'm not too keen on the colour. Generic nylon white, Tamiya white, do you know what I mean? So I think I've ordered some Rip dye, and I'm going to dye these a different colour. Mainly, I got the dye to try it on something like this on a future project, but anyway, I might as well, we'll see how this goes. But anyway, yeah, so we've got those. That'll be a, you know, they're not going to go on the car just yet. So let me, let's get sorted. Okay, so because I don't have a dedicated area to build kits, it's always a bit of a compromise, if I'm honest. So, but we'll start off. So we start with the gearbox. Now the interesting thing is here, is I've got an upgrade. So we've got these here as the standard nylon gears, and they work fine. There's nothing, you know, there's nothing wrong with those. What I have is a ball diff. Now, clearly that's only going to be on one of the gearboxes, namely the rear gearbox. So the front gearbox will be geared as supplied by the kit. The only reason is these are quite expensive, so I didn't want to buy two of them. And my understanding is that these should fit in that gearbox, and there shouldn't be too much of a problem, I don't think. Looking at this, there's a couple of spur gears here where the gears would go in, so that replaces one of those. It looks fairly similar in size. I'm not sure of the teeth, but I think the first things first, looking at the way this is done, I'm just gonna look at the instructions. Yeah, so it's the bearings, of which, again, I've got high-speed bearings, I know the kit comes with ball race, but I'm going to use these. I'm going to put these in the gearbox. So I'm going to get myself sorted. It just takes a little bit of sorting out, as it were. And then I will be back with something that I can sort of describe to you. So the ball diff that I showed you wasn't the one that was for the kit. It was a different one, don't know, I've got it mixed up. Or I've bought that one in error of something else. But this is the ball diff for the Hotshot. Makes a little bit more sense because it's got two lots, front and rear ball diff. So that's what I'm going to be fitting. It is a bit, I say long-winded. You've got to miss a bit out in the gears here. I did wonder why the other one didn't. I was wondering why it hasn't got two ball diffs with it, but if you need the part number, 17160, that's the MIP number, so if you can find that. Installing the ball diff isn't just a case of plug and play. Here are the instructions here. You'll notice I've got the drill out. Now in the kit comes a special tool, which I'll show you, which just goes into a normal size chuck. This is quite sharp, and it's got two stages. You've got the cut, like the bearing, and it's got a little recess. The gearbox half, this is the first half. This is the original C-clip with the normal output shaft in. That must be in there to do this, because if you look at the bottom of that bit, it's got like a little hole in there, which conveniently fits on like that. You then just have to drill that out on just normal ABS plastic. It isn't too difficult. I will do it, but not on camera because I can't film and do it at the same time. And I've also got to do the other half as well. So I'm just going to do that now off camera. It's always a bit wary cutting into a brand new gearbox in case you muck it up. But it's all, you know, it's all there. I mean, it's done up on the chuck. And then we can cut that one out. I'll show you when I've done that, and then I'll cut the other one out, and I'll show you both gearbox halves when I've done. The reason we cut it out is in here, I'll have to get them out later, but there's a couple of bearings with a recess. This is for the output shafts which go in. Now you have to do this on the front and rear gearbox. Until I get round to building the rear gearbox, I won't do it yet, and I won't film it twice. So anyway, wish me luck. This is the point of no return now. So okay, so the first one's done. I'll just quickly show you that. So that's the hole. It's got a little recess on it, and that is the size of the bearing. The original gearbox, which is here, the other side. Is that the other side? Have I cut the wrong thing off? That's not the gearbox. There's the other gearbox. So that's the original size. And that's the new size. Let me just show you the bearing that will fit in there. Just bear with me while I open the packet up. So here's the bearing. You can see it's got a little flange on it. Now that, if I've done this right, that's the gearbox. And it's in. Perfect. Make sure the gearbox is completely clean. There's no swarf or bits and pieces in there because it will chew up your gears. So that's done. I'm going to do the other one now off camera. It's exactly the same. It's not as difficult as you may think because it does come with the correct tool. Okay, so let me crack on, and I will be back when I've got something more assembled. So both sides of the gearbox are now done. It's always daunting drilling into things and thinking, if I muck this up, that's done, it's finished. Now here's the outputs, the original ones, the ones I put in. So they're the original outputs. It leaves part of the gearbox on there. I haven't removed them yet. I'll just keep them. There's no point taking them off. I probably won't need those C-clips. Obviously I'll have the same for the front as well when I've done them, but yeah, so it's all good, and it's final, isn't it? There's no turning back now. So I'm now going to assemble part of the ball diff. I might just keep the videos in blocks rather than doing it all, because I think the shorter videos gain more views. So the first part of this video will be the rear gearbox and the installation of the MIP Ball Diff, and I'll see how far I can go with that, and I'll probably conclude part one because it's the first major part of the build. The rest is fairly standard after then, because then it'll be the front gearbox will need to be built, and there's no point filming that bit again, so I can just crack on with that. And I'll bring back for part two once I get to a point where it's a new subject. So yeah, so this part will just be the diff build, and we'll carry on from there going forward. So let me just crack on a little bit, let me build something up, and I'll show you throughout this process what I've done should it be interesting. So the next installation process is this. I've got it here. I don't know if you can see those, but this is a thrust assembly. These are really fiddly. Those ball bearings in there, I can just about see them. I think they're, what size are they? It's got it here. I'm going to read the paperwork. 564. It's obviously American. Bloody small. So you can see that in there. I'm going to assemble the thrust part, and it's got to be done with the grease. So I will do that and then show you when I've done. Okay, I've got to be really quick here. So that's the thrust. 2 washers with those bloody small bearings in there. I can't move my hand, so I'm going to put that into the drive cup. Get it out of the way. Just bear with me. I'm not even going to turn the camera off. I've got to edit this bit out. So I've done it. So it's in there. Yeah, I think that's right. Is it right? Yeah, that's just got to go in. Now I've got to assemble the other part of the diff, and then I'll be back. Back from where? God, that's quite fiddly. Enjoyable, but you got to be super careful. Right, be back in a second. And there we have it. So that's the assembled ball diff. It's super fiddly, and I've done it up. I haven't gone stupid with it, but it's nice and it's lovely and smooth. It's got some resistance on there as well. It's not totally loose. So that, with this part, that would just fit straight in. And that's basically how the ball diff is put together. So I'm not going to film any more at this part. This will be just part one. I'll assemble the gearbox, and then I'll be back when that's done, because it is just literally following instructions now. So yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that. Got to do it again, obviously, with the ball diff at the front, which is going to be fantastic, but it's fairly easy. It's made a lot easier when you get the special tool like this that cuts the plastic. So I hope you enjoyed that one. That's just a part one of the assembly of the ball diff for the Hotshot Blockhead motors. That's the Hotshot 2. I'll be back for part two soon, and we'll carry on from where we left. So thanks for watching on this part. Please like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. I'll see you for part two. Bye for now.